Consider the following vectors. List two vectors that are parallel. Well, if they're parallel, then we should be able to write A is equal to KB, where K is a number. So if I look through these, I can see that -3, 6, which is this vector here, is equal to -3 multiplied by 1, -2, which is this vector here. So we have 1, -2 and -3i plus 6j. List two vectors that are perpendicular. If they're perpendicular, their dot product should come to 0. If we look at this vector and this vector, if we do 3, 6 dot -4, 2, we get -12 add 12, which is 0. So the vectors we want are 3i plus 6j and -4, 2. Select three vectors that when added form a closed polygon. So it's three vectors, it's got to form a closed triangle, which means that they basically add up to 0. So we're looking for three vectors that add together to give us 0. Now we may need to spend a little bit of time looking at this to get this to work. And after looking for a minute or so, I have seen this one, and this one. If we do -3, -4, and we add that to -4, 2, and we add that to 7, 2, then we can see that we do indeed get 0, 0. We now want to select three vectors that when added will form a unit vector perpendicular to 3i. So it's got to be purely in the j direction if it's perpendicular to I. Now, if we try this vector, and this vector, we get 2, 0, add 2, -1, add -4, 2, and if we add those up we can see that we get 0, 1, which is purely in the j direction. In fact, this is the vector j. Find y given that a is 2i plus yj, b is 3i, and the angle between the two vectors is 60 degrees. Now a dot b is the modulus of a times the modulus of b times the cosine of the angle between the vectors. So we have 2y dotted with 3, 0, and that's going to be equal to, the magnitude of this one is 4 plus y squared, the magnitude of this one is just going to be 3, and then we have the cos of 60 degrees. So expanding out, this gives us 6 plus 0, so that's going to be 3 multiplied by the square root of 4 plus y squared multiplied by a half. So multiply both sides by 2 and then divide both sides by 3. So 4 is equal to the square root of 4 plus y squared. So squaring both sides, 16 is equal to 4 plus y squared. Y squared then is going to be 16 take away 4, which is 12, so y is going to be plus or minus root 12, which is plus or minus 2 root 3.